Welcome to our BioTrack THC instructional video series. This video focuses on some initial setup that will allow you to successfully receive and send cannabis transfers. Enjoy. Hey guys, let's jump right in. The first step is going to be adding a new vendor. We're going to go to our top menu. We're going to go over to options, come down here to vendors, and edit vendors. This is the screen to which we can add and delete vendors. So where it says existing vendors, if I click this drop down, this is the list of all the vendors I currently have. So if you want to update any of their information, anything like that, you feel free to click on them. We've got two types of vendors, and you can sort of see from my list, there are some vendors that have a parentheses and a number or something after them, and then there are some that don't have that. Now, the ones that don't have that, those are the vendors that do not carry cannabis products. They carry our pipes, they carry our paraphernalia, our drinks, our gear, that type of stuff. The vendors that do have a number in parentheses, that's the license number. And that's a really good pattern to get into because it helps you identify the two. For adding a non-cannabis vendor, just simply click on your name field, enter their name, their address, their city, their phone, all the information you have. They're not going to have a license number or a UBI. That's only for our cannabis vendors. So you can ignore that, and you don't want a type selected because they're not a cannabis vendor. Then you put whatever notes you want and you'll click save, and that's pretty simple how you add a non-cannabis vendor. I'll show you what one of my non-cannabis vendors look like. We've got Love Buds here, address, phone number, notes, no cannabis products. Okay, great. Now, let's say we want to add a cannabis vendor that we haven't used before. We're going to click on this preferred vendor list. And this preferred vendor list takes us to this screen. We're going to click in the search bar, and we're going to start typing the name of the vendor that we want. Let's just try Bloom. Click search. And then this gives me anyone that has the name Bloom in it. I'll see if I can find who I'm looking for. Let's just say it's this guy, Bloom Cannabis Grow. We've got the address. Yep, it's them. So I'm going to click OK. We're going to click OK again. I'm going to get a little pop-up screen saying vendors were successfully modified. And then I can come over here and find Bloom Cannabis Grow. Okay, from this point, I can now edit anything I need to. Like in this case, we don't really have a good phone number, so you're going to want to put the phone number in. If you've got an email, website, contact, any sort of notes that are important about your company and this vendor. Usually too, I change the name a little bit. I'd probably just make this Bloom with the license number. It'll be a little bit shorter in the menu. Sometimes if there's multiple of them, I'll use the I'll use Shady from Shady Lane or Espanol to identify it. And then you're just going to click the save button, and it's going to update all of the information in there. So we'll click save. Let me come in here and look again. Okay, there it is. Now let's say you made a mistake, you picked the wrong vendor. You just simply come over here to delete. Are you sure you want to delete? Well, go ahead and say yes. Vendor has been deleted. Okay. If you are sending the transfer and your employee and your vehicle is being used for the transfer, you're also going to need to enter that information. And we can simply enter that information in BioTrack under the compliance menu. There's this employee section. This is not for you to put all of your employees. This is for you to put the employees that are going to be transporting product. And in some instances, that might be all of your employees, but that's not always the case. So for your existing employees, let's just see, put myself in here earlier. You want the name, the employee ID number, birth date. It's important that they're older than 21. It's also important their birth date matches their driver's license, because this is documentation that's going to get printed on the manifest for transport and all of the regulatory documents. Hire date, good to put in there as well. Just make sure you're tracking everything. Once you got all that information in there, save. You've also got the delete button, so if you've got somebody in there that you don't want in there anymore, you can just click delete. Close. Next step is entering the vehicle. So we're going to come down to vehicles, still in the compliance menu. I'll just show you again the one that I did earlier, Adam's car. Got the color, make, model, year, plate number, VIN number. It's important to have all this information, again, for all the compliance documentation. It's going to print on your manifest. Just make sure it's accurate. It's also important, sometimes people change cars up, or you get in an accident and you replace a vehicle. It's important to come in here and update the information so that it's accurate. You don't want there to be any problems with any of the compliance documentation. So it's pretty quick and simple. You just come in here, you update whatever you need to, and again, save or delete. And now that we've got all those things done, we are all set. We can send a transfer now. And once we had the vendor entered, we could receive a transfer.